Throughout history, countless injustices have occurred, countless people have been murdered or sentenced to various punishments even though they were innocent. Today we will tell you about one of these injustices. Our topic is the famous Dreyfus Case. France, which was going through difficult times in the 19th century, left the Alsace-Lorraine region with its mines to the Germans and its economy was about to collapse. The nationalist French believe that it is impossible for Germany, which they despise, to defeat them and agree that the defeat is due to the German spies Jews who betrayed their country. All attention is focused on Jews, who were mostly merchants in the country, and have recently taken on positions at various government levels. An illiterate, naive-looking cleaning lady named Bastien, who works at the German attaché office in Paris, where such a climate is experienced, has an important task of delivering the discarded documents to the intelligence service of the French Ministry of War. The historical document that Miss Bastien gave to Mr. Henry from French intelligence, which will go down in history as payroll, will be the first evidence that will ignite the fuse in the Alfred Dreyfus case. When this piece of paper reaches Colonel Jean Sandher, the head of intelligence, a small apocalypse will break out in the French public. Sandher is famous for being an anti-Semite and is the man who will change the course of the case. The document shows that a member of the French army leaked information to German intelligence, and the usual suspect is Captain Dreyfus, who belongs to a wealthy Jewish family and rises rapidly within the army. During the investigation, an expert report is requested to compare the writing in the document with Dreyfus's handwriting. Although the report states that the two articles do not match each other, Dreyfus is accused and arrested with the biased report of this second anti-Semitic expert. The incident was reported in the press on November 1, 1894. The allegations create outrage and the arrest of the traitorous Jew is welcomed by the nationalist wing. The diplomatic traffic between the two countries regarding the incident and the efforts of politicians who saw the mistake made were inconclusive, and the Dreyfus affair began on December 19, 1894. When the trial begins, one of the witnesses is the Minister of War, General Mercier. It is this name that changes the course of the case, because he prepares a fake letter and delivers it to the committee on condition that only the president and members of the court read it. The letter given included a telegram text allegedly belonging to German intelligence. In this text, it is claimed that the D mentioned in the phrase enclosed are 12 plans that this scoundrel D handed over to me. He is trying to rebuild relations. Is claimed to be Dreyfus. It will be proven in the following years that D in the text, he is an officer named Dubois who works in the map department. Dubois is the person who sold the information to German intelligence. After such a document presented by the Minister of War, Dreyfus no longer has a chance. The personnel working in the French intelligence came to the podium one by one and swore on their honor and the French flag, saying that Dreyfus was the traitor. Finally, in the light of the evidence, on the third day, the court made a decision and sentenced Dreyfus to life imprisonment and stripped of his ranks. However, this decision does not please the nationalists. They definitely want Dreyfus to be hanged on the gallows. The appeal case is at least as fast as the court and the decision is approved within a week. Despite the government's efforts to remove the Dreyfus affair from the agenda as soon as possible, the removal of Dreyfus's ranks is turned into a ceremony. About a month later, Dreyfus is sent to Devil's Island to serve his sentence. The Dreyfus affair turns into a growing gap instead of being closed. The number of people who believe in his innocence is increasing day by day. A significant portion of the people who testified against Dreyfus came to the public agenda with corruption, moral deprivation, and various crimes, causing Dreyfus to find more supporters. On the other hand, the nationalist wing is still dominant in the government, and even those who want the Dreyfus affair to be reconsidered are arrested on various charges, and attempts are made to suppress dissenting voices. What changed the course of the case was Émile Zola's involvement in the case. Opponents of Dreyfus cannot decide what to do first in the face of this strong voice and warn Zola. This warning made Zola even more angry and caused him to write the famous text that went down in history as "I accuse." Mr. President, will you allow me one day to express my gratitude for the good reception you have shown me, and my concern for the honor you have deserved, and to tell you that your hitherto very happy fate is about to receive the most shameful and indelible stain? You are a person who has emerged clean from the most vile slanders and won hearts. But what a disgrace this ugly Dreyfus affair is for your name, I mean for your administration. A council of war, very recently, by order from above, ventured to exonerate Major Esterhazy, to deal a heavy blow to all truth and all justice. So it's all over. France's forehead was stained. History will record that such a social crime was committed during your presidency. Since they do not shy away from anything, I risk everything. I will tell the truth. Because I promised in advance to tell you if the court handling the case does not reveal the truth completely and completely. It is my duty to speak. I do not want to be an accomplice. Otherwise, my nights cannot escape the image of an innocent person far away, suffering the most terrible torture for a crime he did not commit. As an honest person, I will stand up with all my strength and shout this truth to you, Mr. President. I believe that you do not know the truth out of consideration for your honor. In this situation, who can I inform about the evil group consisting of real criminals, if not you? You are at the highest level of the country. Let us first consider the truth about the trial and conviction of Dreyfus. A sinister man has run everything, done everything. This man was Lieutenant Colonel Paddy de Clam, who was a major at the time. He is the one who created the Dreyfus affair. It is impossible to recognize him unless his actions and responsibilities are revealed through an honest investigation. He emerges as a foggy, complex mind full of novelistic intrigue. Because of the serialized novels he reads, he enjoys stolen documents, anonymous letters, appointments in deserted places, and mysterious women gossiping. He is the one who thinks of dictating the payroll to Dreyfus. He is the one who planned to examine him in a room completely equipped with mirrors. Major Fortunetti explained that this man wanted to enter the sleeping defendant with a flashlight in his hand. His aim was to suddenly shine a light on the defendant's face and catch his crime in his sleep stupor. I don't need to say everything. Let it be investigated. Everything will come to light. Let me just point out this, Major Paddy de Clam, who, as a judicial officer, was responsible for taking the Dreyfus affair to court, is the first culprit in terms of date and order of responsibility for the terrible judicial error committed. The payroll had been in the hands of Colonel Sandhare, director of the Intelligence Department, for some time, who died of general paralysis. In the meantime, there were infiltrations. Documents were disappearing then, as they are today. While searching for the person who wrote the payroll, it was thought that this man could only be an officer from the general staff and an artillery officer, This was a double mistake that showed how superficially the payroll was examined. Because, as a result of an intelligent examination, it can be easily understood that the person in question was a Continental officer. I do not want to repeat a well-known story here. As soon as the first suspicion falls on Dreyfus, we see Major Paddy de Clam enter the scene. From that moment on, it was Major Clam who found Dreyfus. The case has become his problem. The Major spent all his efforts to confuse the traitor and force him to make full confessions. Undoubtedly, there are also the Minister of War, General Mercier, who does not seem very competent, the Chief of General Staff, General Boisdefer, who seems to be caught up in his passion for the Church, and the Deputy Chief of General Staff, General Kantz, whose conscience can accept many dark deeds. But before anyone else, Major Paddy de Clam is in charge. He manages them all, puts them to sleep with hypnotism. Because this major also deals with spiritual matters and knowledge of secret things, and speaks with spirits, it is impossible to know what kind of experiments this man put poor Dreyfus through, what traps he tried to put him into, what irrational questions he made, what agonizing madness he attempted. In short, nothing stood out at first except negligence and foolishness. At best, it was felt that the organizers had bowed to the religious passions of the environment and the prejudices arising from their professional relationships. They did not care about foolishness. Dreyfus was then brought before the Council of War. It was requested that the hearing be held in secret. Stricter silence and security measures could not have been taken for a traitor who aimed to open the border to the enemy and bring the German Emperor to Notre Dame. The nation was stunned. Some terrible events are whispered from ear to ear, disgusting myths of history are passed around from mouth to mouth, and naturally the nation bows its head. There is not enough harsh punishment. The nation will applaud the public demotion of the criminal and want him to live with the pain of remorse and disgrace. But were those unspeakable things, those dangerous objects that could set Europe on fire, carefully covered up in secret trials, real? No. Of course, we love and respect the army that will take action in the face of danger and defend the French homeland, the army consisting of the whole nation. But that's not what's in question. We want justice because we care about his honor and dignity. What is in question here is the sword. Perhaps the sword that will be our master tomorrow. Is it fanatically kissing the hilt of this sword? Never. I accuse the war offices of waging a disgusting campaign in the press, especially in the newspapers L'Éclair and L'Echo de Paris, to confuse public opinion and cover up their crime. Finally, I accuse the First War Council of violating the law by convicting a defendant on the basis of a secret document. I accuse the Second Council of War of, following the order from above, knowingly exonerating a criminal and committing a serious criminal offense, thus covering up the illegal behavior of the First Council. I am not unaware that, while making these accusations, I was violating Articles 30 and 31 of the Press Law dated July 29, 1881, and that this law determined penalties for defamation crimes. I willingly put myself in danger. As for the people I blame, I don't know any of them. I've never seen them. I have neither grudge nor grudge against them. To me, they are nothing but people and minds who do evil to society. What I am doing here is nothing more than resorting to a revolutionary tool to hasten the emergence of truth and justice. I have only one passion, the passion for enlightenment that I feel for humanity, which has suffered so much and has the right to happiness. My enthusiastic protest is nothing but the scream from my heart. Let them take the risk of bringing me before the High Criminal Court and open an investigation in front of everyone. I am waiting. Mr. President, I hope you will accept my deep respects. This article by Zola mobilizes those who warn him. Zola, the pride of the country, is sentenced to a heavy fine and then to prison for insulting the government. The Dreyfus affair went out of control and turned into a complete witch hunt. Dreyfus supporters found the solution by seeking asylum in England. Zola is among those who had to escape, and all his wealth was confiscated. Justice is lame, it walks slowly, but it will reach its destination sooner or later. Finally, fair courts rehear the Dreyfus affair. It is revealed that the incident was full of misunderstandings and conspiracies from beginning to end. Dreyfus is first released with a government amnesty, then his ranks are restored and he is promoted to major. On June 3, 1899, the French courts overturned Dreyfus' life sentence. The real criminal named Esterhazy, this time, becomes a confessor and makes confessions about those involved in the conspiracy. It would later become clear that Esterhazy would give many lies and false information when he became a confessor. The Dreyfus affair deeply affected the history of law in every aspect and became an example showing what it could cost to act with the motivations of the crowds demanding heads. Captain Dreyfus is neither the first victim nor will he be the last. It is hoped that humanity will learn from the injustices experienced so far and future generations will live in justice. For more, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications, like our content and recommend it to your friends, and share your opinions and suggestions in the comments. Hoping for a just world. Goodbye.